By the end of this tutorial, you're going to be able to create something like this, and it's going to happen in no time at all. There's not that many complexities around it, but there is a few critical steps that I want to walk you through. So first of all, you've got Archicad 29 open in front of you. You've got a blank template. If you're working with a blank template, then it's probably going to be a little bit more complicated than this. I'm using the Ultimate Archicad Template, which is available through Patreon down below. So it's going to speed up the process immensely. Let's say we want to make an interior room elevation for a kitchen. Well, let's start by creating our kitchen. We can either come up to the top left into our objects panel, go to our object settings and search for something like drawers, and then start building from the base foundation blocks. I did create a video on exactly this and how to create a kitchen. I'll link it up top here if you want to look. But because I've already done all that, I'm going to go down my resources. I'm going to go cabinetry, into objects, double click on kitchen, and then I have everything pre-made, set up, ready to go. So for instance, this sink right here, open up the settings, take a look at the 3D, colored, perfectly aligned, sinks to specification and everything in between. So instead of having to recreate it all one by one, I can simply find my drawers, highlight my cupboards, my sink, my overhead, my pantry, my walls, my drawers, anything in between with or without a splashback, pick some of my appliances like the integrated dishwasher over here, copy and paste them back into my ground floor plan. Once I've pasted them in, arrange them the way I see fit, we're good to start creating our internal room elevations. Now, for the purpose of this, let's go show in 3D, and this is what my arrangement looks like. Relatively simple, relatively nice, stone splashbacks across the tops and backs, mirrored splashback behind, cooktops, sinks, taps, and everything in between. Now, let's come back to our ground floor plan. To create a room elevation marker from scratch, you simply come down to this room elevation tool in the bottom left of your document panel. Now that I've selected it, you'll see the layer that it's on is turned off, and that's because I'm not on my room layouts layer. So double click ground floor room layouts, and you'll see the marker is now visible. So you want to just make sure if you're using your own templates that all the layer combinations, Command L, are all set up correctly for your room layouts. Next, we have a couple options. We want to create a single room elevation marker. We want to create multiple. For this purpose, I'm just simply going to create two different room elevation markers. I'm going to start with one for the back wall, clicking once, holding shift, and then dragging away to see exactly where we want to be. After that, I'm going to create my second one looking at the island bench. Click once, drag back island bench. Now, if I highlight both at the same time, you'll see where it's taking these cuts, which might not be accurate for all intensive purposes. So let's start by clicking on K1. Let's reduce it down and just show the plaster of the wall. Repeat it for the other side, and then drag up the intersection line into the middle. So when we're looking at K1, we're only going to see the very edge of the cabinetry and nothing more. Similarly with K2, we only want to really see the island bench itself. We don't need to see anything further. So we align it perfectly. K2, for simplicity's sake, we're just going to align it with K1. Now, if we were to right click and open K1 with the current view settings, you would see our kitchen magically appear. But that's because I've preset all of my settings and markers. If you look into K1, my favorites, scroll to the bottom, I've got the DTIE set up, which I'm just going to rename to DT Internal Color and press OK. Now, if you're looking to copy these settings, the main items in question are, of course, our cut fill has turned to cut non-shaded. You can turn shaded on, turn your shadows on. I absolutely hate seeing shadows in any colored presentation documents because it changes the color of your materials and you don't have an accurate representation of what you're trying to showcase. So that's for cut fills. Same with the uncut fills. Again, surface, texture fill, non-shaded, and away we go. If you're using the standard Archicad setup, it would probably look a little bit more along the lines of this, which is still okay. Some people like a black and white internal, but I think if you're going to go to all the effort of color grading your cabinets, you're going to want to go to DT color, apply, and then actually showcase your full colors in your internal elevations. It also makes it just look a little bit more pristine, a little bit more polished and finished, of course. The same can be said about K2. So we'll just quickly open with current view settings, look at K2, we'll see the back of our cupboards. Nothing too crazy going on here. Now, if you're wondering where on earth do I find K2 in my map? It's not there. Well, because we've just created it, we've got to come into the top, show organizer. Let's just drag this a little bit bigger. Open our project map and open our view map. And then you'll see K1 appears, K2 appears. So K1, I'm just going to drag down, K2, drag underneath and close that panel. Now we have K1 and K2 automatically labeled in our view map. This is a great starting point. We obviously have our ground floor height and our Ground ceiling height mark is activated because Command 7, I've ticked them both on. If I tick those off, they disappear, so we'll keep them on. To make sure this is a high quality professional internal elevation, we want to start by dimensioning a couple of things. We of course need to dimension the overall ceiling height, making sure it's on the right layer. In this case, I'm just going room layout 01 because that's layer 1, which I'm using here. Bring it out to 7. Then next we want to dimension a few critical items: the bottom of the baseboard, the top of the cupboard, the splashback height, and of course the ceiling height. 900, 700, 1100. If you want to take it a step further, you can also detail the kickboard, 100mm, 120mm, whatever your preferences are. After that, depending on how detailed your cabinetry layouts are and how accurate they are, we can start dimensioning the individual cupboard sections. So on the bottom, we can then have each one of these is 900, the last container is 450, our fridge space is 1050 wide. Similarly, we need to dimension our overhead cupboards, our clearance height for the fridge, our overhead cupboards themselves. Now, because this is sitting on a black one, we're just simply going to change all these lines to white so that we know that is 800. And then of course we can dimension our range hood height, which is the same as this if we needed to. Otherwise, we just go ahead and delete it. Already, these internal room layouts are starting to look a lot more professional, but obviously there's things missing. How do we know what's going on behind all these cupboards and drawers? How do we know for certain that's a range hood? How do I know this is black glass without opening the Archicad settings to actually see what's going on? Well, that's where our keynotes come into play. So if we just go to help and type in keynote and open up our keynote palette, once again, in the Ultimate Archicad template, everything is pre-made for you, but you can go ahead and create your own custom keynotes for whatever you need. In this particular instance, we want to come down to joinery and finishes, scroll down to drawers 1, Blum soft close, Blum leg grip boxes, electric Blum servo drive, and Blum motion. So let's say this one here, I wanted to have a servo drive. We select that item because it's probably going to be the bins, place on selection, drawer 3 automatically attaches, and then we just position it where we want. If we're also looking for pull out bin, it's in our joinery and cupboards, we can just search it, place on selection, pull out bin. So now when anybody's looking at this documentation, they know this is a pull out bin and drawer 3 servo drive. Because we've documented it down below as well, we can simply drag these keynotes underneath so it relates to that 450 cupboard. That's just a personal preference of where you like them. So if we leave them there, they're just easier to see for the purpose of this tutorial. We can literally repeat that same system for the entire internal room elevation. So sync 1 refers to the addenda for the selection, so let's add that there. These overhead cupboards and pretty much everything in is going to be Plotec blonde oak wood mat. So again, let's place selection for joinery finish 1 on top, refers to everything of that color. Fridge, we can either have a fridge space or we can actually specify the selection of fridge. So we'll just leave fridge space at the moment, despite the fact we've got a Fisher & Paykel fridge modeled in this project. Again, no sponsor by Fisher & Paykel, but if they want to, always happy to share some insight on Fisher & Paykel's amazing BIM library. Nonetheless, moving along, this splashback, for instance, could be stone benchtop. Refer to selections, again, place on selection, place it where we need to go, and continue through. Once we've added a few keynotes, then your internal elevation starts to look like this. Now we can adjust it so our dimensions are a little bit further out, it's a little bit cleaner. We can always put this outside, not in white. We can continue to fine tune and make this better. But for the purposes of this tutorial, that's an incredible starting point. So how do we take this now from here and place it on our layout book? Well, of course we come to our layout book and then I've set up A00 interior room layouts. For me personally, I've got 5 grids set up by 3 rows for room layouts and construction details because it just looks a little bit cleaner when it's all nicely arranged in a box. So for that to occur, layout settings, we're using A1 grid, which is the A1 custom grid I've created here. If you have no idea how to create this grid system, super simple, open the master settings, go to setup grid, copy these settings or similar. I've got 5 cells, 3 rows. I've got them flat from top left corner going 1 through to 15, and my lines hide when they intersect with the drawing, which is what you'll see in a second. So coming back to that grid layout, all we need to do then is, for instance, go to our ground floor, go to window, right click, view settings, get current window settings, repeat that for K1, fit to window, view settings, get current window settings, and again for K2. Then we can come into our interior room layouts, drag and drop our ground room internal layouts. Now, there is an automatic way that you can drag and drop these in, and it perfectly positions them to the center if you want. I find sometimes it's a little bit problematic, but I'll show you nonetheless. So if I just simply go show organizer, open up my view map, open up my layout book, drag ground internal into that file, you'll see it automatically drop in. Repeat K1, repeat K2, automatically drops into 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is super helpful because it positions it perfectly in the center using my anchor origin points, but at the same time, you'll see it's a bit too big for my grid. And being a kitchen or any other room, generally there's 4 room layouts. So I like to have my floor plan and then each individual space. So I find that doing it automatically sometimes is more cumbersome. Instead, I like to manually adjust them like this. So now we have ground internal room layouts set up perfectly. Taking up 2 grids, that middle line automatically disappears. Same as K1, grid line automatically disappears. K2, grid line doesn't need to disappear because it's a nice small one. The good thing is if we came back to K1, change this to 1:20 scale, for instance, right click, fit to window, save current view, going back into our room layouts, we can update that frame so it fits our entire kitchen at 1:20 scale. If you were to do that, obviously your room layouts go to 1:20 as well. So coming back in, 1:20, right click, fit to window, get those current window settings and update that page. Challenge then, obviously this is massive, so we got to rearrange and shuffle some things across. But irrespective, super simple to get internal room elevations working, set up in full color, fully keynoted, dimensioned, and placed on a layout book without having to know the complexities of Archicad and only having to really follow this tutorial along. Once again, if you're interested in this template, it's linked down below. It's super affordable, so anybody can grab a copy of it no matter where you are around the world. But anyway, that is all for me, team. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And like always, I'll see you next week.